Quinn, we are finally talking some Big 12, or not Big 12, Big 10 football. We've been talking Big 12 football. We're finally talking Big 10 football here. It's been a couple weeks, and those of you may say you're SEC homers, you're whatever. No, there just hasn't been a game worth talking about in a couple of weeks. We thought there'd be one last week preseason. Turns out Penn State fired a coach and sucks. Okay, it's not our fault. It's the team's fault. But we have one. Number 6 Oregon, 7-1, traveling to face Iowa, who is 6-2 and unranked, which is unbelievable in and of itself, which I'll let you get into that, Quinn, here in just a minute. Oregon is a 6.5-point favorite on the road here in this game with a 69% chance to win, according to ESPN. And if you're keeping track of the College Pick'em series through ESPN, 93% of all people has picked Oregon to win this game.
Yep. Yeah, this is a bunch of people who haven't been watching football. Now let me get on my soapbox. These are two teams that could not be treated indifferently in college football right now. Who is Oregon beat? Answer that question. Seriously, their marquee win is a road win over Penn State in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And being praised for getting manhandled at home by Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. Iowa lost Indiana at home. Indiana had to score a last-second touchdown to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I have that ugly loss to my Cyclones in the Cyhawk Trophy game, okay? But that was before Iowa found their identity. If Iowa State and Iowa lined up this weekend and played, Iowa would win that game. Okay?
I mean, it was only a 3-point win.
Yeah, it was
any day.
And it always is in this Cyhawk Trophy.
Yeah.
But you lost a rivalry game super early in the year, close, before you found your identity. And then you had a close last-second loss to Indiana. So why am I saying these teams are being treated so differently? Oregon's been talked about like they're one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the country, with nothing to really prove that. It's just vibes, right? Like if they look like a good team, I'm just saying we don't have a whole lot to base that off of other than eye test against subpar opponents. Iowa's doing the same thing to subpar opponents. You see what they did to Minnesota? That was nasty.
41, dude. They scored 41 points.
This Iowa team, Kirk Ferentz can score points now. You know how scary that is? That's terrifying. Okay, look. And while Oregon is getting all this love, Iowa, in my opinion, right now, out of all the 2-loss Big Ten, Iowa's the best one. They're better than Michigan. They're better than USC. They're better than Washington. But they're not being talked about at all. They're still not ranked in the top 25 in the AP. They're barely ranked in the top 25 in the coaches poll. When the college football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday, I guarantee you they won't be any higher than 23rd, even though to me, this team is like solid 20 or 19 material, right? And Oregon to me should be like 7th or 8th. They're a little bit overrated. All that's going to change this weekend. Iowa's coming off a bye. They're going to get some respect. This is a young Oregon. I think people forget how young this Oregon team is.
It's true.
And nobody is giving Iowa their respect at all. Oregon is walking into a terrifying trap. All right. Iowa City is going to be on fire. I am worried for what Kirk Ferentz is going to do to Dante Moore. I'm not convinced this Oregon defense is all that good, to be completely honest with you. So I expect Iowa to score some points. I like the Hawkeyes to pull off what everyone's going to view as this major upset, when I really think these two teams are pretty evenly talented. Give me the Iowa Hawkeyes get a massive win at home for Kirk Ferentz and start putting some respect on those boys' names.
Wow. So I want to bring up a common opponent that these two teams have played fairly recently, within the last 2-3 games. It's Wisconsin, and we know Wisconsin is not good by any stretch of the
They're
imagination.
trash.
They're terrible. Oregon played them 2 weeks ago, beat them 21-7 at home. Iowa played them 3 weeks ago on the road and beat them 37-0. Um,
What about the Indiana games?
you can talk the Indiana games. Iowa beat or lost to Indiana at home by 5, 20-15. And as we know, with Oregon, they lost 30-20 at home.
And the big difference I want to point out for people who didn't necessarily watch the game, that game was over when Indiana and Oregon got some late points to make it look a little closer. Indiana hit a 60 something yard touchdown pass in the final minute of the game to win 20-15 against Iowa.
Yeah. And the fact and you've laid out a perfect example and reason why Iowa should be ranked, and now it's disrespectful that they're not. I think they're going to be ranked in the playoff rankings because those people watch games a little bit more than probably AP voters, because I know some of the AP voters, not personally, but I know who they are, and their selective sport that they represent and follow is not college football. I'm gonna ride with you here. Give me Iowa to get this win too. Now, this feels like a better's, if you're a degenerate gambler, which we are not, but if you were, this is one of those games that draws you in to bet Iowa money line here. And traditionally, those games don't necessarily go that way. However, this year it seems like these obvious games that there's certain data points around that point one way when the spread and everything else points the other. There's upsets that happen in these situations this year. And man, what a win this would be for Iowa. You would go to 7-2 with a top 10 win, and one of your losses would be to an Indiana team, like you mentioned, that's ranked second in the country off of a last second touchdown in the last minute. Like, you're talking about a very good football team. And let's not forget the days that isn't so far in the past where Iowa couldn't score more than 10 points on offense. Now, they may win the game 17-14 because their defense had a pick six, but yeah, they can't score more than 10. And now we're getting 40 burgers from Iowa against a Big Ten team.
I'm just curious, what's the remainder of their schedule?
Iowa, so they've got Oregon obviously this week. They travel to USC next week. Then they have Michigan State at home, and then they travel to Nebraska.
So really, they only have one more. If they can upset Oregon here, they got the USC game.
Pretty much, yeah. Because Rayola is out for the rest of the year, I believe, at Nebraska.
Well,
So
if he was playing or not, Nebraska is a. Do we start the Iowa for playoff hype right here? I'm
hey,
just saying.
we might be the first people in the country to do that besides Iowa fans, but the first non-Iowa people to do that if we do it. And listen, if I'll ride if you ride.
I'm riding. Riding.
Okay, all right.
Iowa for the CFP, man.
Iowa for the college football playoffs would be unreal. Unreal. That would mean Iowa would make the playoffs before Florida. Iowa would make the playoffs before Auburn. Iowa would make, golly,
before LSU, man.
Before LSU. Oh God. Oh man. How funny would that be?
Before Michigan.
Give it to me. Give it to me, Iowa Hawkeyes.